Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the media imploding. Lots of media outlets are starting off the year with a bunch of layoffs. So this is just another indicator that the pendulum is swinging pretty hard, because most of the outlets that are laying off, I think actually all of the outlets that are laying off are left-leaning or left-wing outlets. So we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to clownfishminus.com, join the reef, check out our paywalled content, check out our merchandise. Thank you for the support. And I just put a new podcast episode up talking about the culture war being over or ending. And I think this is another indicator that things are definitely changing. Like I think the media landscape in 6 months is going to be completely unrecognizable from what it is today.
Well, hopefully that's a good thing. Because, I mean, here's a problem that can happen is the pendulum swings too far the other way, and then just the same coin, different sides, which I don't want that either. I just want to go back to, rational middle, just,
Yeah,
where like I'd say 85% of the people are.
It's going to take people, I think, getting sick of hyper-partisanship. Is that a word? And we had about, damn near a decade of just, it was like sports, right? It was like you root for the sports team, and people forgot along the way that we're all supposed to be on the same team. We're all supposed to be Americans. And, it's been a very polarized landscape, and you basically have, red media and blue media.
You said everybody's supposed to be Americans. It's like, that's because you don't care if we are actually putting camps and die. Because I'm going to be wearing a red dress soon. And
oh my God. We have another video coming talking about Facebook, and I will pull up some Blue Sky posts about that. They are literally going there. They're like they think Zuckerberg is gonna lead them to the gallows or something. I'm not even kidding. Huffington Post laid off 22% of its journos. Let's see who else laid off. The editor-in-chief resigned after layoffs in fury at CEO for bowing to MAGA. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We also have the Washington Post, I guess, and who else is laying off? Several places. Washington Post, Huffington Post, all the posts.
here's the thing. I think it's a couple things here. I think one, it's because people are not listening to the journos anymore because they think that they've been lied to, especially with left-leaning outlets. I think that's part of it. I also think people just don't get their news these places anymore.
Yeah.
It's also part of it. And I just think those people are just wanting to go back. They're just burnt out. Yeah. And they just want to go back to like, hey, let's just go back to our lives and stop looking at the fire and putting more fuel on it.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
It was. It was like for the longest time, it was a spectator sport. I think politics and bad news basically was our entertainment. It was blood sport. And now that, Trump is coming back, it's very obvious that the general public, the American people, don't hate him as much as these journos did. But also we're seeing all the pieces kind of come apart here that, the media was propped up by venture capital for years, is propped up by the left for years, and that's falling out of vogue. It's just, I think what shocks me so much about all of this is just how fast it's all happening. It's not like, we're going to gradually, I guess, ease our way out of the woke era, quote unquote, into whatever the future holds. And you see this with decades, previously. Like very seldom do you have like where you just like, flip a switch and it's like, okay, it's December 31st, 1969. Now all of a sudden it's 1970 and everything just changes. Mm-hmm. And that's what it feels like here. It feels like the decade is starting finally after being delayed for 4 or 5 years because of the pandemic and stuff. And it just feels like everything is going to be different. Like everything is going to be different. And you're not ready. 10 reasons why you're not ready for the new decade, and 10 reasons why you are.
No, I know, right?
So this is actually coming from the Daily Caller. Are we allowed to? Oh my God, the Daily Caller. After a rocky year for left-wing media, 2025 is picking up where 2024 left off. So Vox too. Vox, the Washington Post, and Huffington Post have all announced mass layoffs to start the year. Weird thing about the Huffington Post, and I did not know this because I have not followed talking heads very closely, But Breitbart, actually, Andrew Breitbart was one of the founders of the Huffington Post. So they actually did have, I guess, more balance at the beginning. And then that spun off into, the other website that you're not allowed to talk about. You're not allowed to talk about now. Washington Post kicked off the call as former CNN media reporter Oliver Darcy reported Sunday the paper was planning to lay off dozens. The New York Times confirmed the news Tuesday, writing that the Washington Post has kicked off a round of cuts that were set to affect 4% of the company's staff, largely in the business division.
That's not terrible.
That's not terrible, but this is on top of all the other cuts they had. And they were kind of given an ultimatum. And you can see every quarter they keep trimming it down because they keep losing subscribers and losing
right.
support.
I think that's what it is. They said the cuts are not going to affect the newsroom, but they saw a bunch were moved in 2023.
Right. And
so there's at least that.
I think I think if I had to guess, they're probably just trying to slim down the business.
Yeah, that's what I think.
For now, and then they're going to see where they're at in the next quarter. I think a lot of these companies are waiting to see what happens when Trump takes office, if things are better or worse. Some of them are just preemptively throwing people overboard and then blaming the economy because they have the opportunity to. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of the cuts I've seen, it's like, yeah, you guys are all kind of a pain in the ass. So, we're going to use the opportunity to get rid of you now. So this is a Huffington Post cutting 30 positions. It's 22% of their newsroom.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty bad.
That's deep.
So let's look at the statement here. Dear HuffPosters, okay. I write today with painful news.
This is not Huffers.
Yeah, right. HuffPost is undergoing a substantial round of job eliminations due to ongoing and growing challenges to our business. Translation, nobody's reading our website. And this is after BuzzFeed bought them out. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we expect upwards of 30 editorial positions to be cut in the weeks ahead. We're beginning talks with the HuffPost union about how to proceed, including the possibility of offering voluntary buyout packages to some desks in the newsroom. This is why I think a lot of these journos were scrambling to unionize a couple of years ago, because they're like, well, I'm probably going to lose my job anyway, but at least I can get a buyout or a severance package, which, look, if you can do it, do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, totally. I'm just sorry. I'm just like, I'm not really much to add to this, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, if you can do it, because I got laid off before, and I wish to God I had some kind of severance package. They're just like, nope, see ya. Bye.
Yeah, and there was some times that, yeah. It was like, because it's, right to work state or whatever, and they get away with a lot of crap here.
Right. But also realize that, when you're unionized, you cost more and you're in the crosshairs. A lot of times if they're going to cut people, they will cut the unionized employees first because they cost too much. I recognize this is an upsetting way to start the year. At least they wait till after Christmas. And we'll be sure to share more details as swiftly and clearly as possible, as I believe it's important to be transparent and share information as we have it. In the coming days, we will make information available about the job eliminations and HuffPost plans for 2025 and beyond. I love how they give people plans like, guys, this is what we're going to do for the good of the company. You're not going to be here, so it doesn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but here's our plans for, beyond after we get rid of you.
After we get rid of you, we're going to save so much money. We're going to do this, that, and everything else. We'll just go right into this. Their editor-in-chief resigned after layoffs and fury at CEO for bowing to MAGA.
Wait, what?
So this is Danielle. She's the one who wrote the memo. So right after that went out, she resigned after the left-leaning news site was hit by mass layoffs. This came from the New York Post. As fury grows, that the parent company was bowing to MAGA ahead of Donald Trump taking office this month. Editor-in-chief Danielle Belton said she was leaving the company Thursday, 2 days after the BuzzFeed-owned site announced it was slashing 22% of their newsroom.
But wait, where were they bowing to MAGA, though?
I don't know.
Where they get what was exactly done that they're claiming this?
I don't know, because BuzzFeed, to the best of my knowledge, and HuffPo, to the best of my knowledge, are not bowing to MAGA. They're writing ridiculous articles about
no one's reading, right?
But nobody's reading. I could not, in good faith, ask others to make this difficult decision without doing the same. She wrote, at least she's following ours, so I'll give her that. I will give her that. She's in charge when the ship is sinking.
Yeah, I respect that. I can
respect that because there's so many CEOs out there. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna fire a bunch of people and not get a raise. Yeah, it's like no. If you failed the company, you should not get a raise.
But she might be also running away too because she's tired of being dogpiled. But
that could be true.
But I mean, if it's
true.
because she feels like she's the one that failed, then and she's doing it to be in solidarity, well, then I'll give her credit for that. But I don't know if that's what's going on.
At my core, I'm a very sensitive and emotional person, which is
Same.
why I haven't been as communicative in the last few
I'm
days.
overly communicative.
Yeah. Editors Kate Palmer and Whitney Snyder will take over the newsroom. The layoffs follow a report this summer that former GOP presidential candidate is Vivek Ramaswamy, who owns a minority. I forgot about that. I forgot all about that. Yeah, he actually bought a minority stake in the parent company. Had been pushing for cuts at the company.
Okay, so that's what they're claiming the MAGA is. I'm trying to understand where this.
That's why I think they're.
I'm just trying to understand where they're coming from.
Well, he's part of Doge, right? So they're going to go through and cut inefficiency, and if your own company is bloated, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a good look. News of Belton's exit and the broader cuts related to business challenges sparked anger at BuzzFeed CEO Jonah Peretti, and BuzzFeed's holding on too. Like this is just all of this. It's all ending. It's just the whole thing is imploding.
Again, it's like it's tough business, and I'm not naive about the cuts. But he is also another exec bowing to MAGA. HuffPost editor George Zornick posted. Where and in what way? Again, I know.
Let's look at this. Let's see what people are saying here. In what way? The cuts we heard about this week.
Because Ramaswamy, but he doesn't control BuzzFeed.
No. He doesn't have.
He has a minority stake. So wait, because your cuts are coming because you probably need them. It's because you're bowing to MAGA, or maybe it's because you can't survive in this, this world. You're like, economic headwinds are coming, and you just, the writing's on the wall. No one's reading your shit. Maybe it's more about that. I don't know. I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. But I'm just saying, usually it's because you're bloated, and to stay afloat, they have to throw people overboard.
Yeah. And he's not getting a lot of interaction on this. Well, yeah, I remember that. He said that he thought BuzzFeed should go back to just doing fun quizzes and
this idiot's
top 10 lists.
This probably is like, I want to be. Wait, who said they should go back to top 10 lists?
Ramaswamy.
Yeah, well, he's probably right because that's what made him big. This guy's like, I want to do hard hitting news, and my hard hitting news probably is mostly I hate Trump.
I hate Trump. I hate Trump. Also, I hate Trump.
Did I mention I hate Trump? I don't know that, but I'm saying I think because he's really obsessed that if they're getting laid off, it's because of Trump, even though I'm not understanding how it's because of Trump. But okay. Yeah, supply and demand. Exactly.
This
Thank
is 100%.
You. Yes.
Yeah, I know you don't want to hear, but media outlets that supply left-wing spin. It's very, very common. Most J school graduates identify as left-wing. When an item is as common as dirt, the demand goes down.
Lack of credibility is also a big factor.
We had a decade plus of blogs disguised as legit media propped up with venture capital and a bunch of people that should have been writing on Tumblr, writing articles in publications that somehow, because they had a deal or something with Google, got to the top of the search results. And it's all ending. Basically, there is no demand for this anymore.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the comments because, I'm just like, they're blaming Trump, but I'm trying to figure out why. And it turns out because some dippo. But fantastic news. Have you considered a career in coding or picking up dog shit?
Hey, okay. So
world always needs more bartenders.
Yeah, right. So this is a true story. During the 2008 financial crisis, I read about a guy who was an executive. He was a marketing executive, lost his job, and he started a dog shit cleaning business, and he was making more money doing that than he was working as an executive.
So yeah, you know what? Maybe you're better off.
Good money and shit slinging,
you're already
right?
good about shit. Yeah, you're an expert. So there you go.
God.
This is the first post I saw on the profile. Building the defining media for an AI era.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That basically BuzzFeed, they said before, this was a while ago. This is old news. They said that they were going to use AI to do their top 10 lists and stuff like that. Now, BuzzFeed's business model was never really sustainable. It was like they would just, shit out a bunch of clickbait content and then boost it on Facebook, and that doesn't work anymore.
Well, it used to, but yeah, that might be why he's suggesting going back to the quizzes and stuff like that, because that's what actually worked for them and built them up.
Yeah.
And now they wanted to be serious, but no one's ever taken them seriously. And then when they were going to go public, I remember we did a whole thing on it talking about how stupid that was and how it was not going to go the way I thought it was going to go. And then it did exactly what we said it was going to do.
Yeah, yeah. I twisted my ankle this morning.
I know, right?
Gotta be Trump's fault.
This is like the burned pie. Murray Calendar.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Looking for group, getting rid of paid liars on your staff that backstopped your incompetence. seems like a good first step to being actual journalists and news reporters.
People's appetite for one-sided propaganda has diminished. Exactly. This is because people aren't reading you anymore.
That's
just
just
to do with Trump. Oh my God! Not everything is. It's back like 2016 again, and even up to 2020. Everything that goes wrong is Trump's fault.
Everything that goes wrong is Trump's fault. Yeah, everything is Trump's fault. That's why I'm reminding people. I'm trying to remind them on Twitter. I'm like, hey, just when they shut TikTok down, if they wind up shutting it down, which it looks, as of recording this video today, it's looking very, very likely that TikTok is done. If and when they shut TikTok down, just remember it was Biden that signed that, not Trump, because they're going to retcon that whole.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
They're going to rewrite history and be like, yeah, they shut TikTok down a day before Trump took office, because it's like, no, actually, he fought very hard to try to save it, and it didn't happen. So, just there's no money in it. There's no money in it. So it's Huffington Post, Washington Post, and now Vox too. I didn't even know that Vox was laying people off. So she's leaving. Let's see here. Vox, on Friday, Vox announced layoffs on several teams. A difficult but necessary step as the industry evolves. Going forward, Vox will focus resources where it is most competitive and distinctive, while creating a more collaborative structure across all platforms.
That's awfully we're it's most distinctive, but we need to be collaborative.
Podcasts and video. Being more focused will help Vox build a sustainable business for the long term while maintaining its core editorial sensibilities.
Translation: everybody's getting their news on podcasts and YouTube now, and they don't want to read our shit.
Yeah.
So we're going to go there because that's what the eyeballs are. That's what the translation is.
So was this Karen Landman? She took to Twitter to announce they're a victim of the cuts. I just got laid off from Vox along with 11 other talented and delightful people. We're using finger quotes for delightful. Karen, who covered public health, consumer health, and health misinformation, according to her company bio, wrote, I'm leaving.
I'm sure what those articles entailed.
I'm sure they were. Like, damn MAGA and their COVID vaccine conspiracy theories and blah, blah,
we don't know
blah.
that, though. We don't know that without looking
We
into it.
don't know that.
But
I'm making an assumption based on the flavor of the website and the fact that she is covering medical misinformation. Anyway, she said, I'm leaving.
in religion.
In religion?
Wait, editors assigning. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Editors assigning work on public health misinformation. I think that's and religion in healthcare, or what?
I don't know.
Money, religion, and healthcare.
Money/religion.
So basically, these are what she's looking for. These are the jobs she's looking for.
Gonna go have cookies for lunch.
Well, I do that without even getting laid off, so I understand.
Have you tried coding or picking up shit? Oh, sorry. The turnover is part of a larger trend in legacy and left-wing media. Washington Post, in particular, has been putting out fires for months. Ever since their executive editor stepped down in June, Jeff Bezos attempted to fill a role with a white man. Many staffers revolted, prompting him to reveal the paper's horrible recent performance.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he's the one.
They actually wrote that. Oh, that's funny.
He is the one who told them that they were not allowed to take a political position too, because I think Bezos wanted Trump to win, because if Harris won, as I understand it, she was going to implement the unrealized gains tax, which and all of his money. For those of you who don't know, Bezos, he basically, I believe he lives off of loans, and then he just kind of keeps his money in stock so he doesn't get taxed as hard. And a lot of these billionaires do that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going to tax your stock."
Yeah, and I mean, I get the logic she was going for with that in that regard. However, the reality is going to be that people that are like not the rich people, were going to be the ones that were going to also get hit. It claimed it wouldn't be. But it's been the reality every time they make these claims any other time where, oh, no, we're going to go after the rich. And instead they go after the business owners and the middle people and tax them harder while the rich gets to hide their money. Yeah. And then, the reality is never what the presentation is.
Yeah, they're talking about MSNBC, and we know how that goes. So, yeah, I think what we're going to see this year, and we were talking about before, is we're going to see more and more of these video game websites get gone. Because they're not sustainable. They're owned by these companies that, they were able to make a profit off of outrage for years. Now the ad revenue is just not there, and Google's pulling shenanigans with websites now. And a lot of them, honestly, were gaming the system. I mean, Forbes got busted. They had this whole as I understand, they had this whole ad agency writing a whole bunch of articles that had nothing to do with finance, had nothing to do with anything they covered as like pet care and stuff like that. Just for some like SEO spamming, and they got penalized for that. And I think a lot of these sites, I think you're gonna find that like nobody's actually reading the shit that they're putting out, but the site's getting traffic based on legacy content and like guides and stuff like that, and also probably SEO tricks. And it's over. It's all over. So learn to code, learn to pick up shit, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.